Hello, everybody. It's Walter, your favorite historian, educator, professor, and social studies extraordinaire, here today to discuss with you President Joe Biden and his incredibly crafty, cunning, and cutthroat methods in getting things accomplished. Now, anybody who watched the State of the Union on March the 7th, 2024, can clearly see that even at the age of 81, President Joe Biden is no joke. The man is incredibly in your face, cutthroat, cornering, shrewd, witty, and clever. Indeed, Joe Biden personifies the old school, get it done type of politician that essentially is a fading memory at this point in American politics. Unlike President Obama, who was new school and polished, President Joe Biden is a very old school type of guy, an old school type of politician who does not hesitate to put the opposition on the spot, nor does he hesitate to corner them, nor does he hesitate to make backroom deals when it's necessary to get his agenda accomplished. In our State of the Union this year, 2024, President Biden repeated the same action he did in the 2023 State of the Union by directly confronting the Republicans on their obvious desire to cut funding for Social Security and Medicare. President Biden put these demons on the spot, forcing them to directly answer his question, essentially, while he's delivering the State of the Union. So you guys don't want to cut Social Security and Medicare, right? Nobody's going to cut that. I loved every second of it, folks. He put them on the spot entirely in doing what they did. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reflection and cleverness of a brilliant politician. That is something you will not see done by younger politicians. No, they're going to follow the script. They're going to not provoke confrontation with the opposition. But Biden did it twice, and I am exceptionally proud of him. The 2024 State of the Union proved that my president, Joe Biden, is anything but mentally unfit to serve in office. Indeed, President Biden delivered his 2024 State of the Union like a Baptist preacher. All right, he pointed out all the details and went for the jugular with respect for to the opposition. Indeed, the man is more than mentally competent to serve another 4 years as President of the United States. Yes, he's 81 years old. But guess what? Who is 81 years old and still operating like they're 21, like they're 51, or hell, even like they're 71? It doesn't exist, ladies and gentlemen. If you are blessed enough to reach the age of 81, you're not going to run perfectly either. But the man is still clearly all there upstairs. And if you weren't aware, he used to have a stuttering problem as a young child. Therefore, when it seems like President Biden stumbles over words, that's what that is. You know, when you have an issue with stuttering, you never completely, entirely outgrow it. All right. The man, there's nothing wrong with the man's intelligence. He is more than there, and he's more than competent, able, and qualified to serve another 4 years as our president. And that's why I am urging you folks to vote not only for President Biden this November, but blue all across the board to save our republic. I don't think many of you realize just how fragile democracy is, ladies and gentlemen. Democracy is not something that is automatic. Democracy is not a given. It is something, to quote the late Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, it is something that must be refreshed anew with each generation. And we, as Americans, have to protect our democracy. And the first step in protecting our democracy, ladies and gentlemen, is voting for President Joe Biden in November and replacing these MAGA fools in Congress with Democrats. Democrats will preserve our democracy. Democrats will preserve our republic. Our republic can no longer be trusted in the hands of Republicans led by their cult leader, Donald Trump. Donald Trump has destroyed the Republican Party. The Republican Party that used to exist prior to the year 2016, folks, does not exist. And it ought to now simply be renamed, rebranded, the Trumpist Party, because that's all it is. And it no longer represents the traditional values and virtues of the Republican Party of old, the party of Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, the Bushes, all right, George H.W. and George W. Bush. That party is gone, okay? And it is now up to the Democrats to preserve our freedom and to preserve our democracy. And therefore, you, ladies and gentlemen, you, I, and the electorate must vote Democratic this fall to preserve our republic. That's my public service announcement. The rest is up to you. Be wise. Don't sleep on Trump. That's how he won in 2016. And if you don't want a repeat of 2016, get out and vote blue this November. That's all I'm saying on this. If you have any questions or controversies, leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Until the next video, Professor Shelton, out.